Welcome to The Trail. It's the podcast edition of Songs on the Trail.
Coming to you from Beaver Island, 32 miles in the middle of Lake Michigan. And for those not in the know, that's north of the 45th parallel.
I'm Jackson Smith.
And I'm Steve Gerbach. We're two enthusiasts for all things Michigan, music, art, and culture.
And a little bit of comedy. If you have a Michigan-connected song or story you want us to know about, send us an email at songsfromthetrail@wvbi.net or look us up on Facebook and Instagram at Songs from the Trail.
This is WVBI's own AI Kevin Boyle on this holiday doubleheader, which features highlights from December 10th and 17th of 2022. Stephen Jackson recap the McCafferty Christmas Party, which we'll get to hear performances from, featuring John McCafferty, Dudley Stevens, Danny Gillespie, Cindy Gillespie, Cushman, Jim Edwards, Ruby John, and more. We'll hear live performances featuring Hilary Palmer, Sheri Timsak, and our own Jackson Smith from the Shamrock Bar on Beaver Island. Jackson's high school classmate, Vicky Usle from Spain, educates the show on the Spanish tradition of the Christmas pooper. The guys listen to two songs, Upper Michigan Christmas and Christmas in Upper Michigan. We're joined by guests Amy Gore, Jerry Early, and Zachariah Malachi. The guys discuss out-of-place Michigan town names. And finally, we hear an original Beaver Island Christmas song with words written by Islander Rob Cole and sung by Islander Hilary Palmer.
Merry Christmas, folks.
Well, listeners out there, it's your old pals, Jackson and Steve. We're having a little laugh because there's a technical glitch that you will not hear on your end, but
with a little luck, maybe.
but all is good. We're hanging out and having a great time this weekend. And Steve, we had a great time last weekend.
Oh, man. Yeah, we sure did. It was a Beaver Island house party, but on the mainland, as they say. And wow, it was a good time. Really was. Beautiful house. The McCafferty house. They invited us in. What's wrong with them? and man, what a nice place. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm always, I have the same reaction every time I go into his place. Like, it's just dream house material. Like, had he had different ambitions, he absolutely could have had a show on one of those home improvement channels or something. It's just a really amazing place.
Yeah. Absolutely, it was. And we were able to share it with our buddy from Detroit, Mr. Jim Edwards.
Well, yeah, Jim came up and we had a great time, playing, jamming. Of course, Jim knew a few of the folks, friends of the island right out of the gate. Him and brother Jim Boynton were already acquainted, which, small world.
Well, I mean, come on, man. I mean, Jim Boynton lives in St. Ignace, and for people that don't know, that's in the Upper Peninsula across the bridge.
Yep, and our Jim Edwards spends a lot of time up there in Sidnaw, but they somehow knew each other from the downstate, because I know brother Jim's and actually, is he the president of UFD? Did I read that right?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Imagine that.
Well, he's also a client. No,
right.
But it was just a lot of fun. But the end of the night, I mean, it was everyone was having a lot of fun. Actually, a lot of the folks that went to the party ended up relocating to the Gold Nugget in Ellsworth, Michigan. To get nuggetized. I've been there before. If you go in there, there's a sign that says nuggetized, and I guess you're supposed to get your picture underneath there. But I heard from one of the members of the McDonough family that they closed out the bar after closing out McCafferty's house.
Why am I not shocked?
but it was just the big thing was great music. Dan Gillespie and John McCafferty and Aunt Cindy and
Aunt Cindy, Jewel and oh man, there was just, I mean, at one time there was probably 11 or 12 musicians playing.
Yeah, one of Lynn McDonough's daughters sang, and I apologize, I've never formally met her, so I didn't know her name off the top of my head, but she sang a couple songs. And then, yeah, I mean, there was Ruby John was there with John, I always get John's last name mixed up. John
Warstler.
Yeah, too many Johns and Jims.
I know Johns.
But man, they did a couple songs that were phenomenal.
Gosh,
and then
so much talent.
And on mandolin, and a wonderful singer, Melissa Welke was there. That was my first time playing music with her. She was great.
Yeah, she really was wonderful. Again, playing, having microphones spread around the room. There was not a microphone near her except for one time. We got her doing and I think we're going to play it in a little bit here. There's a solo on one of the songs we recorded. But imagine, if you will, just this big room. I mean, the house was designed after a barn, right? And imagine this huge room with all these musicians playing in it. It was so cool. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it really was. And it was covered by Corey and Stephanie Atkins. And, they did a great, I don't think Corey was very happy, but Corey and Stephanie did a great job. And, there was some technical issues, unfortunately, but it was more than fine.
Yeah, it was. And it was, we were able to record some of it, and, we're learning as we go, folks. I mean, basically what we did is we stuck a bunch of microphones in a room and tried to capture
the vibe,
the moment. Yeah, the vibe, the cool, chill vibe, which we did, but it's hard. Jackson, you're in this world, man.
Yeah,
it's just hard to,
well, it was at a house party. It's like having mics on stage and in the crowd all at once.
But we got some cool stuff. We got some really good music captured.
Yeah, and I kind of like that you can hear the crowd. It's kind of make you feel like you're there. Just close your eyes and you're at the McCafferty's house, and it was just such a great time. And I hope we'll be doing it again. Supposedly, I don't want to give anything away, but supposedly we're talking a McCafferty Palooza in sometime in June or July. So we'll have to.
My God, I'm all in.
Yeah,
I'm all in.
Figure that out, and hopefully, me, Steve, and Jim don't have to share a room again.
Right. Well, that was kind of a funny moment too, where they're like, "Okay, you guys are going to stay we got a place for you down in the pole barn. We just look for the door with the light on." We're like, "Okay, great." We go down there and found the door with the light on, go in, and it's like, okay, it's like it's a garage, John Deere tractor is around.
Yeah, it was the full-on pole barn, and we're trying to be polite, like, oh well, that's all right. We'll get comfortable. That's all good. And then around the other side was an actual apartment, but we
this
almost
is beautiful apartment,
and we almost didn't go there and just made it work.
But what a great spread, man. That place is amazing.
Well, like we mentioned, we'll be playing a few tunes from the party throughout the show for you shortly here. And then, we also got some other fun stuff in store tonight. We got some live tracks featuring a few people from the island that we recorded last year at the Shamrock. A couple tunes of me and Hilary Palmer. And, I think we have a song that, Hillary, Rob Cole, and myself did last year. We're gonna play that one, and then we also just got other music from around Michigan that we'll be getting to. Some good, bad, and ugly, but all holiday music. And just when it comes to holiday music, I'm all in.
All right, exactly. Well, what do you want to hear first?
Well, why don't we kick the night off with our friend Jim Edwards hanging out and singing a little Blue Christmas with our friends over at the McCafferty house last weekend.
Oh, sounds great.
Take it, Jim.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue, just thinking about you. Yeah. start calling. That's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing alright when the Christmas away, and I'll have a blue Christmas. Hey! Take one. Take it, James. You'll be doing alright in your Christmas away, but I'll have a blue Christmas. You'll be doing alright in your Christmas away, but I'll have a blue Christmas. Thank you for breaking our hearts, Jim. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you're just joining us, this is Songs from the Trail on 100.1 WVBI, the voice of Beaver Island. And we just heard a little track from the party last weekend at the McCafferty's in East Jordan, a little Jim Edwards and friends doing Blue Christmas. And then, we're going to do another track here from last year's Christmas party over at the Shamrock. Steve, you ready to hear me and Hilary Palmer doing a little Silver Bells?
Oh, this was good. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, here it is from 2021, live at the Shamrock.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air, there's a feeling of Christmas.
Jackson and Steve.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's good. But
That'll do.
I don't mean to be creepy, but this is Jackson and Steve, and you're listening to
is.
Songs from the Trail, and we're having a little fun here on WVBI this evening, playing Christmas music from Beaver Island and around Michigan. Just heard myself and Hilary Palmer playing a little Silver Bells at the Shamrock last year. Have you heard of a strange tradition of the Christmas pooper?
Why? Again, why does this not surprise me on this show?
Well, because this is we're a worldly show. You may not realize that looking at this at face value, you might think our minds are in the gutter, but no, Steve, we are exposing the island in Michigan to culture from around the world, and
Right.
out in the Catalan region of Spain, Steve, there's something, the Christmas pooper. It's also called a Caganer, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but believe it or not, Steve, off in the corner of any Catalan nativity scene is a shepherd who has pulled down his pants to poop.
Well, I'm sure, it's something you never really thought about, but I guess shepherds do it. Yeah, it's named the Caganer, or the pooper. The figurine has appeared for centuries in Catalanian nativity scenes. Why would he do that in front of the newborn king? The reasons are still vague, but the tradition has lived on to the point that now you can buy celebrity Caganer figures for your nativity set.
Oh man, someone needs to make one of us.
I was going to say, a Jackson Smith Caganer would fit perfect. Oh, boy.
Well, it's funny, Steve. I actually have a friend I went to high school with who's from Spain and lives there currently. My old friend whose last name I've been pronouncing wrong for nearly a quarter century, Miss Vicky Usle, or Usle? She offered a little local insight into the tradition.
Hello, Mr. Smith. All right, so the origins of the Caganer are somewhat confusing, and there is no unanimity among historians in placing it in a specific place and time. But according to various ethnologists and historians, it may date back to the late 18th century, inspired by a 17th century marble relief. This marble relief is called the Virgin and the Mountain of Montserrat, which depicts the Mother of God with child and the Montserrat Massif, with its paths traversed by characters, including, hidden after a ride and under the shelter of a tree, the Caganer, or Caron in Castilian, in full swing. So it's basically about a shepherd who's represented bent over with his pants down, buttocks in the air, and defecating. Other experts also place it in the 14th century, but point out that it originated in Ile-sur-Té, in the Catalan Illa de Té, located in French Roussillon, called by some the northern Catalonia, where a character appeared carved on a stone, which was known as the carguer, which quickly became popular in Catalan culture and folklore. There's usually caganers and pichaners, which are the pissers, ones that are peeing, and they're almost in all of Christmas nativity scenes, all throughout the Mediterranean. With its popularity in the past 10 years, they've also traveled across the Atlantic, and they're also seen in nativity scenes in South America. The pichaner is one that we used to have in our house. And the fun of it, of these two characters, is that you hide them in the nativity scene every year in different places. And the point is to find it. And they say that if you find it, you will have good luck. So over the last, more or less, let's say 10, 15 years, they've become more and more popular all throughout the Mediterranean and South America, and mostly oriented towards politicians. So you find every type of politician in, the caganer position, which is a lot of fun, poking at the politics of that time. But you can also find them as, many other types of professions, be them cops, firemen, professors, etc., etc. And one more detail which I think, Jackson, you're going to love, is that the pichoners, some of them, have a small acrylic tube where you can actually connect water to it. And he or she, because they can also be female, can be peeing constantly the whole time throughout, as long as you want the nativity scene to be up. Thought you'd like to know. And that is all. I send you warm hugs and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you all from Spain. Un abrazo muy fuerte y felices fiestas a todos vosotros.
Thank you for that, Vicky. Merry Christmas to you and Ruben, and of course your little ones, especially Sa. Some international coverage, Steve, of the Christmas pooper.
Well, where do we go? Where do we go from here, Jackson?
Oh, Kaganer. But well, I think it might be time to get to some more music before we go down with the Kaganer here. But I thought it might be good to play.
There it is.
Play another tune from the party here, the McCafferty Christmas Party. And this one's a bit chaotic, but I just thought it really captured the vibe of the night. The whole room singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. How's that sound to you?
That was a lot of fun. Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Let's go right into it here on Songs from the Trail.
Let's not sing along for everybody in the room. We expect everyone to sing
If you're just joining us, this is holiday-soaked edition of Songs from the Trail, and you just heard a little bit of the McCafferty Christmas Party, the whole gang singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And here's another one I did with Hilary Palmer last year called Melikaliki Maka, known best, I think the Bing Crosby version is the best known version, but we did that one together at the Shamrock last year, and here it is on Songs from the Trail.
Melikaliki Maka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright, sunshine by day and all the stars at night. Melikaliki Maka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Melikaliki Maka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright, the sun to shine by day and all the stars at night. Melikaliki Maka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Melikaliki Maka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you.
And we're back on Songs from the Trail on 100.1 WVBI, the voice of Beaver Island. And we're having some fun here listening to some Michigan Christmas songs, some island connected songs so far during the show. And, now Steve and I, we're going to listen to a couple songs together because, when I was searching holiday Michigan Christmas songs this year, I noticed two very similarly titled songs. Upper Michigan Christmas by Phil Lynch and Christmas in Upper Michigan with Dan Adamini. And I had to see, I just wondered which was the superior song. Now I know it's not.
Oh, is this a throwdown?
It could be a throwdown, and I know music is not a competition, but this just seemed too good to resist. The same subject matter. I mean, it's just perfect here. So here, let's start off with Christmas in Upper Michigan. Steve, what do you say?
Oh, let's do it.
All right, here. Worry about you're digging into this with us, friends. So here, me and Steve are giving this I'm letting Steve hear this for the first time. Here.
Okay, feel like I'm in Kmart. Looking for a blue light special.
I feel like the Casio keyboard.
Right?
Is the best of Christmases for me.
And not the worst voice I've ever heard, I'll say that.
Okay.
Spending Christmas with
I mean, the budget probably wasn't there for a real string section, I'm guessing.
Or a recording studio.
I wonder what year this was recorded. 11 years ago, but I have a feeling it was recorded even longer. than that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the lyrics too, Steve. I could do karaoke to this. Hold on. When we all come together Christmas Day. Yeah. I don't know how the
You
melody
actually
goes.
improved this. That's nice. Oh.
You know,
Okay,
no,
all right.
Christmas
You know what?
is,
It's
yeah.
actually growing on me.
Yeah.
Is this wrong? Because it's actually growing on me.
No, I think if it just had a, do a remaster, get Jimmy Iovine out or Rick Rubin to get a hold of this.
Right.
Well, here,
Right.
that's a good little taste of
Okay.
Christmas in Upper Michigan.
All right.
Now,
It started for me personally, Jackson. It started out a little rough, but then I don't know. I kind of warmed up to it.
then we have Upper Michigan Christmas by Phil Lynch. Let's see what this one has in store. I enter right away.
Much bigger recording budget.
Yeah, this sounds really good.
Did my time as
Oh.
a company man, living downstate in that big city.
Oh,
Now the traffic and noise might be fine for some, but the only
Did we already talk about the increased recording budget on this one? I think.
yeah.
ribbon of highway called I-75 stretching
God, I shouldn't make fun because I'm not a good singer, but I mean,
I know.
does Phil sound like he needs a Claritin?
bridge reach to the sky. I'll know that I'm finally free. And I'm coming home to an Upper Michigan Christmas. See all my family.
I should have made. Wait,
I know. I'm trying not to, Jackson. I'm really because
wait, hold on. This is crazy.
You once again.
So lyrics. What did he just say? So we're sleuthing here, live sleuthing on the air.
Christmas
Coming home to an Upper Michigan.
once again.
Hold on.
okay.
Michigan Christmas.
He's coming home to an.
Coming home to
Yeah.
an Upper Michigan.
Coming home to an Upper Michigan Christmas.
See all my family and friends.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
what did he
All
say?
right. He's out
Coming
on Pearl.
coming home to an Upper Michigan Christmas, seeing my family and friends. Now, if you remember the song we just listened to previously,
Never come together
hold on.
Christmas for me. Back home.
Back home in Upper Michigan.
Back in Michigan.
Again.
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
Christmas with my friends and family.
Dude, pretty
There's a
similar.
ripoff. Somebody.
Uh-oh. I think Phil Lynch might have lifted something from Dan Adamini, and I think we might have an issue here.
Clearly, we should call BMI or ASCAP or one of them. Who do we call? I don't know.
These guys are just probably sitting at home trying to have like a nice night. It's like they're probably in Upper Michigan with family and friends, or friends and family,
Right.
depending on
Friends and family.
who you ask.
What? And then all of a sudden, their Instagram or Facebook. Why did I got lots of likes? What happened?
Well, if you want to be the judge yourself, both songs are available on YouTube. We won't be playing any more of them, but
No.
but
They were great. They were great.
yeah, well, they were great. But just two very similar tunes with some similar lyrics. I don't know, just raised an eyebrow, Steve. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, for sure.
Well, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you, Steve.
Yes.
How's your December been going?
You know what? Things are good. Things are great, but I'm a little nervous because as of right now, I have done exactly 0 holiday shopping.
Oh,
Yeah, pressure's on.
See, I'm the opposite. I am all done.
Get out. Seriously?
Yeah, well, I just in this age of the internet, I just kind of it's not like the old days. I didn't really go out to purchase much, which I will say makes me a little sad because I had to stop through the local mall near where I live downstate, and it was just dead. Nobody around. I mean,
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, most of the stores out of business. I mean, that's going on all across the United States.
Yeah.
That's not common just to Michigan. But you know what really blew me away, though?
What's that?
We did go because my son's growing like a weed, and we had to get him some new winter boots. And we went to the outlet mall nearby. The outlet mall was dead.
Really?
Yeah, dead.
Well, not Amazon. I'll tell you, they're killing it. It's amazing.
Amazon killed everything because I'm sure. I mean, we're both old enough to remember. I mean, when I was a kid, going to with my parents to Hudson's on the east side of Detroit. I didn't go to the downtown Hudson's. We went to the east side Hudson's, but it was an amazing place to be during the holiday season. Going to meet Santa and doing all this stuff. But it's still like I was a little kid in the 80s, but back in the 80s, it still looked like a Christmas Story. Very, very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we talked about this last year, but when I was real young, we used to go to Hudson's downtown to see Santa, and it was like Christmas Story. It's kind of, not gonna lie, it kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I didn't get a boot to the face or anything like that on the slide on the way down. But
well, I mean,
it's just crazy.
There's definitely levels to the mall Santas. I'll say I've seen some that are spectacular, and then others that are. You're just waiting to get off work, buddy. Like when you
right.
But
yeah, but it's just it's kind of sad what's going on with the malls, and But I complain about Amazon a lot, but I pretty much have a package coming for me every day to the house.
Well, and the packages do come to the island to the chagrin of some, but oh my Lord, actually, when I spent last winter on the island, it was pretty consistent. Like whatever time Amazon said they were gonna, or whatever day Amazon said they were gonna deliver the package, you have to add an extra day on because obviously during the winter the packages have to come over on the plane and. The folks over at, I think most of them come through Island Airways, some through Fresh Air, but they work very hard, and there's only so much room on those planes to get packages over. Because I know some people newer folks and unfamiliars would get miffed by the
the extra day.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a miracle you're getting packages from Amazon on an island in the middle of Lake Michigan, but that's I don't want to. I'll get off my soapbox now, Steve. Yeah, and now we're going to go right into another tune. Last year we had a little Christmas party at the Shamrock. And myself and Sheri Timsak did a few songs. If you don't know Sheri hosts one of the best shows on the station, Country Classics, at 5 p.m. Saturday, Steve?
That's right. And you know what? She does it live. She doesn't do no scripts for Sheri. She's a pro, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
Exactly. No, she does it so well. She's got the good radio voice, plays a good selection of, well, quite literally country classics, and and she's a great singer. And so Sheri and myself did a little version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer that you're about to hear right now.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, Won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee. With glee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Got a little country feel to it there, Jackson. I'm turning them country. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee. With glee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Woo! Thank you, guys. Woo!
And welcome back, folks. You're joining Steve Gerbach and myself, Jackson Smith, on a holiday extravaganza here at Songs from the Trail. And we just heard a little song from WVBI's own Sheri Timsak with myself on guitar, a little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Well, if you're just joining us on this holiday edition of Songs from the Trail, me and Steve are sitting here with a good friend of the show, Miss Amy Gore has joined us here.
Well, hello.
So glad to have you, Amy.
Yes,
great. Nice to be back, guys. Hi, Steve. Hi, Jackson.
Hello. How is the holiday season been going for you, Amy?
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, I finally got firewood delivered. I have a wood-burning stove in my little studio apartment, and just as it starts to get little, brisk around here, I got to fire that thing up. So I went to my friends at Great Lakes Firewood, who I highly recommend, and Brent over at Great Lakes Firewood delivered me one full face cord of kiln-dried ash right out front, dumped it in the front, and that was my project yesterday, was stacking wood.
Wow, very cool. I'm impressed. Obviously we don't give the exact location, but this is the Metro Detroit area?
This is Cass Corridor, friends.
Wow.
Or what they call Midtown, which is Cass Corridor with lipstick on.
But that's well, that's what I wanted to say though. I find that amazing that's going on over there. But see, northern Michigan and the southeast Michigan, not so different.
That's right. That's true.
Peel away the layers, but that's very cool.
So I got the tree up. I got my wood burning stove cranking, and it's very festive around here.
Wow.
Very cool.
It's go time per se.
Correct.
Well, Amy has had a wonderful career as a musician, fronting the Gore Girls and Gorvette and the Valentines with myself and doing all kinds of stuff. But the thing I love to harass Amy about the most this time of year is she was a part of the soundtrack of one of my favorite Christmas movies, a little movie filmed in Hell, Michigan called Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, so exciting. So excited.
Went straight to video, I think.
Well, I've always loved, so this movie, we've talked about it before. It's so bad it's good type movie. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's got a professional wrestler, Santa Claus. They have some higher end actors that get killed off immediately in the first scene.
Did they make it like 30 minutes? I mean, it's James
crazy.
Caan and Fran Drescher, right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yep. That's right.
Okay, yeah.
And was Angie Everhart in that first scene too? Was that before jail and other bad things that happened to her?
I'm gonna have to revisit this classic in American cinema because I don't recall.
Well, trying to block it out, Amy.
Maybe.
Now, while we have you here, we could hear a little bit of the trailer here because it's just too good.
Grandpa, I want the truth about Christmas.
If it's the truth you want, then it's the scary truth you're gonna have.
According to the Book of Claus,
the iconic narrator guy that does every movie trailer.
Right. Was forced to spread Christmas cheer. Now,
here he comes.
Bets are off.
Santa?
There is a Santa Claus.
And there he is. Yep.
Your boy.
Yep. It's Santa's killing people and shoots fireballs, and he's
classic
Santa. But
a heartwarming tale.
Well, let me ask. So you sang on the soundtrack. How did you get involved with this movie?
I got a phone call. They couldn't afford. They wanted Darlene Love, but they couldn't afford her, so they called me. They're like, well, a producer called me and said, I need a female vocal to sing Baby Please Come Home for Christmas. I think you can do it. Do you want to give it a shot? And I said, sure. So I went down to the studio in Detroit and sang it. And then, it's a great song. It's a wonderful song. Sang that. And then they needed one more song. And he said, what do you got? What do you got? And I was thinking, I'm like, oh boy, I didn't have anything Christmas per se, but I just recorded the third Gore Girls album at the studio. And I was like, well, what about this track? And I could sing it with a Christmas theme. So I reworked the song, the vocals, the lyrics, and it became Don't Cry, Don't Cry, Santa's Coming to Town.
Oh,
wow, cool.
Well,
and I dare say it worked.
Did you get to be on set at all during the filming?
Unfortunately not, but I would have been there.
Oh, I know, because I would have wanted to be there, see my hero.
You're a big fan of the lead, Bill Goldberg, right?
Oh yeah, no, he was a high school hero of mine, but yeah, we'll pick on me in a moment with that as well here. But we were talking about the lead that played Santa was Mr. Bill Goldberg, a championship wrestler for now WWE, but at the time WCW, and I don't think Amy or Steve were aware of that.
He has such a rich, varied career. So Bill Goldberg was apparently in the NFL, but his career ended when he, quote, tore his lower abdomen off his pelvis.
Oof, ouchie. Ouchie. That's very ouchie. Wait, what? So I have a memory. Of him when he was having a war with the NWO on WCW Monday Nitro. One night, the members of his former football team came out of the audience to his rescue as he was being pummeled by the NWO.
Wow! Oh my God!
Yeah,
what are friends for?
This was his theme song. It used to get me so pumped when I was in high school. I'd listen to this before I had to go somewhere. Here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Here it comes. Yes.
Whoa.
And even
did you just say you listened to this before you had to go somewhere?
Yeah. No, I did. Like if I had to go meet some friends or something, or go to a party, I was such a nerd. I put this on to get pumped.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, Goldberg!
I mean, I'm feeling it.
Oh my God! Wait,
I don't know.
Oh, this was
about thunder. That is thunder.
This was my teenage years right here. Oh my gosh!
So, have you watched this channel before, Jack?
Oh, I might have watched these a few times. Here he comes.
It's a woman who's from Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Wait, I'm confused. I thought this was Santa Claus.
It is, Jackson. It is Santa Claus.
Well, anyway, that's a lot of fun there. A lot of fun.
Oh, Bill.
Well, if you're interested, though, like I said, go. I believe Santa Sleigh is streaming at all your favorite streaming services this holiday season, and
do yourself a favor and treat yourself to Santa's Sleigh this Christmas.
Well, speaking of Christmas movies, Amy, we actually had a little list we had a bone to pick with, and I thought you might want to go through it with us.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, spoiler alert. What we've been talking about is not even on this list, Santa's Sleigh. That's a crime, if you ask me, Jack.
Wow, it really is. Get it together.
Yeah, Fox 17 in West Michigan had the audacity to publish a Christmas movies filmed in Michigan list without Santa's Sleigh. I just could not believe this.
No. So what kind of a list is this?
Yeah, how seriously can we take this?
Right. Well, the first one on it is Christmas at the Holly Hotel, which, by the way, just debuted last weekend. And it follows a woman whose parents, the owners of the Holly Hotel, ask her to come home from New York City for Christmas.
Come back. Come back to the hometown.
Holly, Michigan.
There's no sleighing in it. You know?
No,
I know. Boring.
How good can it be? Boring.
Well,
right.
Oh, and then Amy, the Holly is getting a twofer here. Is the next one on the list? Cupid's Christmas is also filmed in Holly, starring real life police chief Jerry Narsh in the role of the police chief.
Whoa, he's so good.
Star power.
Right.
He's like a regular Liam Neeson out there.
And then, Jackson, there was Miracle on Christmas, which was filmed entirely in Brighton. By Brighton, I don't know. And it follows a small town family and their struggles to come together for the holidays.
Wow. Small town. That's so heartwarming.
Right. And Brighton gets a twofer too, Jackson.
Wow, really, Steve?
Yeah. Because also a Christmas winter song, which features singer Ashante. No, wait a minute. That's not it. Which features singer. Oh, God. You should be saying this word.
Singer. Now I'm going to try this, Steve.
Okay, go for it.
Ashtani. Ashtani. It's Ashtani.
That's the
There we
one.
go. I see why you went with Ashanti, but it's Ashtani.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashtani playing a Christmas shop owner who helps a former jazz singer reconnect with his family. Oh, that one sounds okay.
Heartwarming.
Okay.
Very much. I'm warm and fuzzy. Absolutely.
Right.
Well, as we go through this list, Amy, do you have a favorite Christmas movie filmed in Michigan or not?
I'm not sure if this was filmed in Michigan, but Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Do you remember that lovely gentleman, Ernest, 1988?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I was what year did Ernest Goes to Jail come out? Because I felt really, I was just a little kid, but I felt very upset.
That was after Christmas.
I felt
that was New Year's Day.
Is Ernest going to be okay?
Oh, Ernest.
Whatever happened to that guy?
That's a good question. Let's see.
Wow,
Jim Varney.
Is he still with us?
I believe. He has passed, unfortunately, at the ripe young age of 50.
Oh my God!
I know. Back in 2000.
Oh, that's too bad. Poor Jim Varney.
That's so sad. He had such a good career.
It seems like Jim Varney. He could have just went by that name. It's
No
like,
kidding.
Right?
Ernest Jim Varney. Combine that.
Right. No wonder we haven't seen him around now.
One of my favorite Christmas movies that I can watch almost every year is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, a classic movie.
Never disappoints.
Well, moving down this list, here's another one that was partially filmed in Michigan. The Christmas Bunny, filmed in Wyoming, Michigan.
The Christmas Bunny. Do tell. Who was in this film?
Well, I don't even know if this one made it the video.
Right?
They just filmed it and said, "Why bother?" Let's see.
Right?
No, the Christmas Bunny.
Oh, Florence Henderson. Oh my God, she was on the Brady Bunch.
Yes,
So it's legit.
of course. So
That's a legit one.
It is legit, though. I wonder.
It is. Oh my God.
It seems to me she should have top billing going. Looking at the rest of this, because who can forget the award-winning acting of Derek Brandon.
Or just the bunny. I think the bunny is the true star. Like top billing.
Right. No, I do like the cover. This has the looks of a straight to streaming kind of thing.
Straight to streaming.
Is that the new thing now? Straight to streaming instead of straight to DVD?
Probably. I mean, DVDs are in the same category as CDs at this point. They're
CDs,
like glorified coasters.
Well, back to the end of the list here. We had a film that I think more people would know than The Christmas Bunny. Prancer, of course, was filmed in Three Oaks.
Yep.
Town.
Sam Elliott and Cloris Leachman were in that movie.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Wow.
1989.
OG cast. I mean, heavy hitters.
Yeah, and he has a good cowboy voice. You know. And then the final, rounding out the list here, which was partially filmed in Rockford, A Dog for Christmas. That's
okay.
Is that what my wife called me? No, wait. Yeah, thank
you. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Songs from the Trail, and we're joined with it by our good friend, Miss Amy Gore, and I believe she's going to share some dad jokes with us.
Yes.
Hey guys. Well, getting in the holiday spirit, I mean, Christmas would not be Christmas without a couple dad jokes to share. So I've got a couple up my white and red sleeve here. Okay. What's the first thing an elf learns in school?
I don't know.
The alphabet. Okay. Which reindeer needs an attitude adjustment? Rudolph. Why was Santa's little helper sad?
Why?
Because he had low elf esteem. Okay, one more for you, as if those weren't enough. Why does Santa hate going down the chimney? Because he's claustrophobic.
Oh boy.
Well, Steve, I don't know. Maybe those were fun and all, but we might need a palate cleanser after that one. Amy, do you have a song maybe we could follow those gems up with?
I do, but before we go to that, one last joke. Speaking of singing, what do you call an elf that sings?
Oh no! What?
Elfis.
Boo. Oh my God. And you're listening to Songs on the Trail. It's 1956 and you're listening to jokes from Amy's Christmas joke book here.
That's right.
Oh my God. Oh, that's great. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Songs from the Trail on 100.1 WVBI, the voice of Beaver Island. And, we had chatted about movie Santa's Sleigh, and that was filmed in Hell, Michigan. Michigan has a lot of town names that, maybe sometimes don't sound like they belong. And, we have a list of the top 10 town names that sound like they don't belong in Michigan.
Well, I got to tell you, too, Jackson, I'm surprised this one is not on the list, especially this time of year, Christmas, Michigan. There is a Christmas, Michigan, and it's not on this list.
No, I mean, kind of strange they want to have that on this list. But nonetheless, let's go down here. So whether you have lived in Michigan for a long time or a newcomer to the state, these town names seem completely out of place. Do you agree? And I'll say I don't agree with all these, but here's one I've never heard. Germfask.
Yeah, never heard of that. Do we know where that's at? Is it in the UP? I bet you it's in the UP. It's got to be in the UP.
Well, let's go to the old Songs from the Trail Encarta Encyclopedia. Yes.
Of course it is.
Of course
it is.
Germfask, Michigan, sitting just to the east of the well, gosh, another name I can't pronounce. The Seney National Wildlife Refuge, and there's so many parts of the UP I am unfamiliar with. Now, the next one, I mean, I've been in Michigan all my life, so this just seems normal to me, but Bad Axe, Michigan.
Bad Axe sounds like a town I would not want to get caught in. It was named after a beat-up axe that was found where settlers Rudolph Pabst, wonder if any relation, and George Willis Pack were surveying. The two wrote Bad Axe Camp on their survey, and the rest is history.
Pack of Pabst?
The 12 pack of Pabst?
Then we go to the place we've been talking about a few times over the course of the evening, Hell, Michigan. Now, there are a lot of different stories to explain how this town came to be. One of the popular origin stories is that George Reeves paid local farmers for grain to create distilled whiskey. When the farmers' wives were asked where their husbands were, the wives would always answer, "He's gone to hell again." While the story is hilarious, it does not seem logical. However, the city got its name does not matter because it sounds like it doesn't belong in Michigan or in this realm.
Right. However, Jackson and I have been to Hell several times, actually, and we're going to be featuring in an upcoming episode of Songs from the Trail an artist from Hell, Michigan, Mr. Michael Caton.
Yes, look for that soon. But if you've been to Hell, you have to balance it out with a trip to paradise.
Right? Yeah, it would be unfortunate of me if I did not mention Paradise, Michigan, after mentioning Hell, Michigan. The town is surrounded by forests and may be the gateway to paradise. Paradise, in this case, is referring to the Tahquamenon Falls State Park.
Well, I'm glad you had to say that name and not me.
And then, Jackson, we have White Pigeon.
Is this where pigeons come to party? According to their official website. Wait, the pigeons have a website? Oh, the town. I'm sorry, Steve. But White Pigeon is the oldest incorporated village in the entire state of Michigan.
Wow, that's interesting.
That actually is interesting. The town was named after, Potawatomi. Is that right? Potawatomi.
Potawatomi.
Potawatomi Indian chief Wabameme. Or Wabameme. I apologize. I just have a hard time with these names. But the name means white pigeon. The chief ran almost 150 miles to the settlement to warn them of a potential attack. After he ran such long distance, he died from exhaustion. His remains still buried in town as part of a National Register of Historic Places.
That's pretty wild.
Well, here's one, Steve, we're well familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Hamtramck.
How do you pronounce Hamtramck? I mean, it's a Polish area, but it's spelled HAMTRAMCK, but it sounds like there should be an I in between the M and the C.
Yeah, it says the town was named after a French-Canadian man named Jean-Francois Hamtramck.
Now wait,
he was the
hold the phone though. That's interesting because haven't we always been told it's a Polish town?
Polish. Yep. Founded by Polish immigrants. Yep.
Yeah. Now that I had no idea about that, but a few famous people, including Mitch Ryder and baseball player Tom, another name, Pachiorek, and basketball player Jeez Louise, look at these names. Rudy Tomjanovich.
But this was interesting. Jean-Francois Hamtramck, he was the first American commander of Fort Detroit. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's weird. The whole history of Hamtramck has just been turned on its head for me. Jeez.
Right.
Wild.
And then we go to, it's got to be in the UP again, right?
Well, what's
survey says?
What's the closer here, Steve?
Oh God, you talking about this one?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a town I dare say I don't want to visit.
Oh, you don't want to get in there? You don't want to get in?
Have you ever been to Dick?
Well, I've been called worse, but
It says, I sincerely apologize that you had to read that. I wonder if people have the word dick in their address. Do they have a name for themselves like Grand Rapid? Oh, no.
Well, what's interesting about Dick? Dick is actually actually a ghost town.
Well, I mean, come on, man.
Well, it's old age. Maybe Dick isn't working as well as it used to be as a town. As a town, it has there's not been many new buildings erected in Dick in many years. The town of Dick, that I'm talking about. But the ghost town of Dick, Michigan was a lumber town, a postal stop, and a railway station along the Minneapolis-St. Paul and Sault Ste. Marie Railroad. The little town was established when a post office set up operations on December 15th, 1904, enlisting Lemuel Green as postmaster. Lem's postal duties were taken over by well, come on.
Oh, geez.
Lem's postal duties were taken over by Elick Person.
Oh, come on, man. No way. And by the way, he said Dick's a little town.
So Elick Person of Dick was a local lumberman who took over on May 21st. The local lumberman in Dick, Elick Person, who hauled lumber in Dick, took over on May 21st, 1906. We are talking about a real place. Kevin and/or Dennis, you can look this up yourselves. I'm not making this up. Dick's post office, which also included a general store, closed down on December 30th, 1916, and from then on, their mail service was traveled to Trout Lake.
Yeah, you got to leave us alone, Dennis or Kevin. Don't be a little town in the UP.
Oh my gosh, that whole railroad went through many now ghost towns, including one being named Dick and the other named Dryburg.
Come on, no way. Oh, come in.
Oh man, I just
okay.
But I mean, this historically accurate or not, it might be a good time to bail on this one, Steve. And we're back on Songs from the Trail. Me and Steve are here talking to our good friend Zachariah Malachi, who is currently playing Charlie Justice in the Showtime series George and Tammy, about George Jones and Tammy Wynette. And well, let me ask you, Zach, before we let you go, because I know you're a very busy man. One, without spoiling anything, like I've only spoiled episodes that actually have aired, but without spoiling anything further, what can people expect for the rest of the series?
Well, like how Stanley Kubrick did Full Metal Jacket, where you're watching it and it's funny and it's funny and it's funny, and you got Arlie Ermey saying all these one-liners that are so memorable, and it's funny, and then all of a sudden it takes this really crazy dark turn, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of the field and war is going on and people are getting shot and stuff like that. George and Tammy's sort of like that too, where the whole intro of it is you're like, oh, George is drunk and it's funny, and then all of a sudden it gets not so funny and it's very serious. And then that's kind of exactly how George and Tammy's life was, is it's cute and funny until it's really not cute and funny anymore. So
does anybody call Tammy Private Wynette? Private Wynette, what's your major malfunction?
No, but poor Virginia Pugh, which is Tammy's real name, had a lot of dysfunctions, or malfunctions, sort of say. So, it's really we've seen the country music love story. We've seen, Coal Miner's Daughter. We've seen Walk the Line. And I think that George and Tammy has its own set of problems. we get to watch what the reality of it. I mean, a lot of the story is real. It's the reality of it,
Well, we'll look forward to seeing the rest of the series as it airs and perhaps a bit of a transformation from you as the series timeline progresses. Wink, wink.
Well, I mean, I could say that. I mean, the show is going to be the span over a good portion of their lives, So I started in 1966, 1965, around that time, and the final episode is in 1995. So there you go.
Oh man, I can't wait to see that. Real quick, I can't let you go without mentioning, Zach is also in the band with two folks who I used to play music with, Dennis Crouch and Russ Paul. And probably the most unbelievable thing about the whole series for me is not the story or the actors or my friend Zach being in it, but Dennis Crouch, who is he keeps a very clean Michael Jordan-esque hairdo, if that makes sense. And he has a full head of hair in the show.
Yeah, Dennis and Russ play Pete Drake and Bob Moore, who were famous Nashville A-Team session players that worked for Owen Bradley and Billy Sherrill, and I mean, countless other people would call them because they were the best. And I mean, honestly, Dennis Crouch and Russ Paul are the current version of that when it comes to country. I mean, if you have a go-to project where you need really good musicians that would have it done in one take, it would be Russ Paul and Dennis Crouch. So it's kind of ironic and funny that they get to play these legendary musicians who were one time filling the shoes and the job that they do now.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of cool. I haven't talked to Russ in a while, but I do believe Pete Drake's one of his heroes. So that's pretty cool.
Probably, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Russ has got his own instrumental versions of things like The End of the World by Skeeter Davis, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was Pete Drake that was playing on that record.
Yeah. So absolutely. Well, that's all really cool, and so folks, be on the lookout for Zach on the rest of George and Tammy on Showtime. If you're just joining us, you're listening to a holiday edition of Songs from the Trail on 100.1 WVBI, the voice of Beaver Island. And Steve, we have a special guest joining us all the way from across the ocean on Arranmore Island, Mr. Jerry Early. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, guys. Hope you're all doing well out there.
Oh, so glad, so happy to have you on the show again, Jerry.
You're welcome, and it's our links are very much entwined with the two islands, so it's good to keep the airways open and keep you guys in tune with what's happening over here. So yeah, always good to talk to you. Always.
Well, speaking of being in tune with what's going on over there, we're very interested to know what's been going on for the Christmas season over on Arranmore.
Yeah, so at the moment we're sort of just getting geared up for it. We're still 2 weeks out. So typically what will happen is from this weekend coming, we will start having the Islanders come home from all over the world. And I think because it's a short period this year, I know that we celebrate Christmas much longer than you guys do, really, because the holiday season here is pretty much a week, 2 weeks in some cases. So a lot of them, I believe, a lot of the younger ones that can work from home are pulling them this weekend, and I'm going to have the lead up to Christmas, and then of course the following weekend we're into Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day on the Sunday, and then Stephen's Day, as we call it here, is a very big day as well. So yeah, it's really very much different to the summertime trade. It's mainly families coming home, and it's much nicer in the sense that we get much more time to spend with them, obviously, and the shorter days and the longer nights, it leads to all kinds of badness, I suppose, and and I'm sure that you guys aren't adverse to that sort of stuff from from what I hear and what I see on the socials. So yeah.
Oh yeah, this time of year, kind of the same thing you see on the island, family coming back and people getting together at the Beachcomber and the Shamrock and the pub for all sorts of things, and it's kind of part of part of the way it goes for the season. You know, you got to have a little badness to go with the goodness, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I find actually, you know, it's the pattern usually is you don't tend to go too crazy on having functions on for the first couple of nights, because it's very much catch up time for a lot of people that haven't seen. You know, I know it's much easier nowadays to get in contact through the socials and et cetera, and Zoom. But when people get together physically, it's, you know, they spend the first couple of nights just catching up in a physical sense, and you know, and all the stuff that's going on in their lives. So that's, you know, you could be having you could have U2 playing music in the corner, and they're not listening because they're just so, I suppose, involved in each other's lives and catching up and stuff. So that's and then 2 or 3 days into the season, that gets out of the way, and the real party stuff starts. So yeah, it's always, you know, Christmas is a lovely time, no matter. It's a very sad time as well for a lot of people, obviously, you know, but because it's a lot of reflection going on at Christmas time. So, but yeah, always look forward to it, because you get to catch up with family and you have more time to spend with them, it seems. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Oh, very, very cool. And I'm sure your establishment, Early's Bar, is a fun place to get together.
Yes. It can get messy at times. There's no question about that. And normally what happens in Early's tends to stay in Early's.
real quick before we move on from that, you said something a little bit before that I'd never heard of. You mentioned something called Stevens Day.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard of it, Steve.
No, but I'm very interested.
well, so typically, and a lot of people actually, particularly in the north of Ireland, would call it Boxing Day. In England,
okay.
It's referred to as Boxing Day in England, and I think that term came from the day after Christmas, when when all the boxes are lying about after all the empty presents, etc. It just seemed to stick that it be called Boxing Day. So I think in our sense, the fact that it was so linked to England, we purposely tried to stay away from it and call it Stephen's Day, which it is the Feast of St. Stephen. So, where some people refer to it as Boxing Day, we refer to it as Stephen's Day. So yeah, it can be a lot of functions, swims, and different community stuff can happen here, because, you know, typically Christmas Day it's spent lying around. The pubs close. Some of them might open for an hour in the morning, but generally stay closed. And it's such a lazy day, you know, everywhere. And then the day after, it's maybe people are getting out and doing stuff, whether they go for a swim or go for a run or go for a walk. So it's a lot of fundraising events typically happen on Stephen's Day, all over Ireland. Actually, it's quite a big day. The sporting life really kicks back in, you know, particularly down the country. You have soccer matches and horse racing, etc. So it's you know, generally a very busy day in the sporting circle, and a very busy day in communities that like to fundraise for whatever. So yeah, Stephen Day is a big day in the calendar.
Oh, very well, Steve. Wow. I think next year we might have to get you over there for Stephen's Day.
And my wife is.
We named it after you, Stephen. But listen, I wasn't.
My wife is going to be so excited to know that there's a holiday named after me.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, we wanted to ask about a song that was performed in the documentary Home on the Island that really documented the twinning of Arranmore and Beaver. I believe the song is called May We All Someday Meet Again.
I think it was initially a Furies song, the Furies and Davy Arthur that would have recorded it. So not a very well-known song, but certainly one that, I suppose, became an unofficial anthem for the two islands in around the twinning time. There was actually a very good recording of it done. I think it might have been on video. I know it was doing the rounds of a cousin of mine, actually, who did a really, really good version of it. There are roads to where we're going, endless highways and dusty roads. and the roads that we have traveled are the roads that always brings us back and takes us to familiar places, takes us back to share again, and friendly faces. May we all someday meet again. It's a beautiful, it is a beautiful melody actually, and a really, really well-written song. So, yeah, it is the unofficial anthem of the two, particularly around the twinning time. And it's funny, I was having a conversation today with the some visitors we had here. We'll probably go into that later. And it was it's a whole generation sort of thing has now passed since the twinning, and we're sort of hooking up in different ways now with the younger generations, which is really, really cool to see. That, you know, the links are forever growing and forever getting stronger through the younger people now, and it's really cool to observe all this from a distance, how we have become really, really close as islands in the last 20, 30 years. You know, before that it was sort of, there was only a few families that were keeping in touch, but now it's very much a generational thing, and you know, I suppose with the social media and the easy connectivity we have these days, it's much easier to make these connections. But it's a really, really it's a really cool thing to watch actually, how the kids on you know, from both islands can seamlessly hook up, and it's a very natural thing, and it's a joy to behold that, you know.
Yeah. Well, it might sound funny, but it to me it makes me really happy to see this, because, you know, I'm obviously not from either island, but I love the culture of both islands, and to see the kids now continuing things on, it gives me hope that when I'm an older man, the things I like about Beaver Island, and, you know, now I'm starting to get a taste of Arranmore as well, like those traditions will continue, and I'll, you know, it'll all remain familiar for enthusiastic visitors like Steve and myself. You know?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very important to keep the links, because where it's, you know, nowadays it's a really cool thing, and there's a real identity with both islands, and I see that very strongly, is that, you know, the people from both islands are fiercely proud of where they're from, and that's a really cool thing. But it's also, you know, it would be remiss of us not to at least remember that, you know, the history of both islands is not particularly a happy one, you know, and how it all came to be. So, you know, whereas we must look forward. It's always good to you know, have a little glance back at the past as well, because I suppose that's the tie that binds us, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I've said it many times about Beaver Island, and I mean, I don't know how you feel about Arranmore, but when I'm on Beaver Island and I look at a place, it's like the way the world is and the way it's gone over the years. I always feel like it's a miracle, a great miracle, that a place like Beaver Island exists, and at least to me, seeing Arranmore, the same thing. Just it's thank goodness people maintain places like that and maintain ties and maintain you know, the history, because you know, I sometimes I feel like if history in either place went differently, on a slightly different path, either place might not be there today.
That's
you know?
right.
So it's a blessing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and particularly, I think, you know, whereas we both have huge similarities, and even, you know, we are obviously much closer to the mainland than you guys are, and that's, you know, that's either a blessing or a curse, you know, whichever way you want to look at it. But I think when you take the magnitude of the states, even, you know, the whole United States thing, and then out in the middle of a lake, there's this little magical place that, you know, that had sort of, I don't want to say lives by its own rules, but, you know, pretty much does, you know, and there's, you know, to get in there, you have to think like the island people if you want to survive there, I believe, because otherwise, you know, you'll get found out very quickly. And it's the same here, you know. we welcome people here, and sometimes it comes about, and I'm sure that you guys can relate to this, that people come to Arranmore as they do to Beaver, and then because they love it, and then very shortly after getting here, they want to change it. So,
right. Yeah, that's a big.
They normally don't have a long-term future when it comes when push comes to shove, and I'm not saying that we evict them like back in the day, but we can give them a gentle push.
I understand. I mean, it's. No, I've said to some local Islanders, some of the younger ones, I wish to see more of them involved in the local political business of the island, because that's how I think that's going to be the best way to maintain, the ways of the island. I mean, things do change, of course, but they don't have to change that much, in my opinion.
Right.
Right. I think on that, Jackson, that, and I would encourage the young people to go off the island, and the ones that want to come home will come home. If they really want to come home, they will. And then they're coming home with a bigger vision and a bigger look. Sometimes you can maybe get too insular and on the island, and you don't see the forest for the trees, or you don't see the trees for the forest, whatever way it goes. But I mean, sometimes you have to go out and see the big bad world and come back and implement what you have, what you have, and just make it work. But yeah, it's good. It's interesting.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Songs from the Trail on WVBI 100.1 FM.
Well, before we go, we are going to hear one more tune here. This was a song put together. It's words by Rob Cole, sung by Hilary Palmer, and I played some piano, kind of, but that's a long story, though. But music by myself, and this was a real pleasure to do. It was recorded in my living room on the island, and I'm just really happy to have been a part of it. And Hilary is one of the island's beloved singers. Rob Cole is a master wordsmith from the island. He's had some of his work performed at Carnegie Hall in New York City, for those who weren't aware. And I'm just the guy that bothers the locals here. but it was a pleasure, and I hope you enjoy this song. But to you listeners out there, we'll see you next time. And to you, Steve, I'll see you on down the trail.
Adios.
Come the time of wind and snow in the archipelago, we will gather those who stay and those who roam. At the end of autumn's run, when the ferry is all done, and it's Christmas time upon our island home. Round the harbor ringed with ice, in the kitchens warm and nice, out beyond four corners and along the bays. In our homes we'll sing noels to the echo of church bells, as we celebrate this precious holiday. While among the love and cheer, we'll toast those no longer here, with a memory, a teardrop, or a poem, and be thankful to life's grace we're together in this place when it's Christmas time upon our island home. Round the harbor ringed with ice, in the kitchens warm and nice, out beyond four corners and along the bays. In our homes we'll sing Noels to the echo of church bells as we celebrate this precious holiday. With the year now nearly gone, let us join voice in a song, for it's Christmas time here on our island home.
Well, Jackson, we are at the end of our show, but we'd like to remind the listeners that on the radio version of Songs from the Trail, we listen to some great Michigan music. And for a list of that music that was originally played on this episode, please check this episode's description for the links.
We love hearing from our listeners. If you have a great Michigan song or Michigan-connected story you think we should know about, Steve, how do the listeners get a hold of us?
You can look us up on the social media sites of Facebook and Instagram at Songs from the Trail. On the social media sites of Facebook and Instagram, you can look us up at Songs from the Trail. You can send us an email at songsfromthetrail@wvbi.net or call us anytime because we would love to hear from you at 231-268-4799.
To the listeners out there, we'll see you on the next episode. And to you, Steve, I'll see you on down the trail.
Adios.